request from my brother and Melissa, like, to try to make things better, like to ask Louie and I to stay at their house.
Is your wig squeezing your brain too tight, heifer?
I just tell you, my mother annoyed the shit out of me. At the baseball game, she goes over to Teresa. The wedding invitation, I saw Margaret. It's beautiful. When's the wedding? She goes, honey, you can come.
I go, your mother's not even invited. I said
That's an oversight.
No, it's not an oversight.
Can I just tell you from somebody who doesn't speak to their sister?
You hadn't seen her in 15 years.
No, I've seen her. We just don't speak to each other when we see each other. Do we know her whole story about her sister? Do we? Do we even know a fucking quarter of it? Yeah. I have questions about that now then.
Girl, what's going on?
If we're made up, why would you say anything negative about me? Like, look at the history of her friendships. Just be careful. Proceed with caution. Like, you're kind of like starting trouble between me and Margaret? I don't see a problem with repeating what was said. The actual problem is that they said it in the first place.
Boom!
I spoke to her mom tonight.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I apologized to her.
Wait a damn minute.
Do I wish that Louie would have discussed it with me prior to speaking to Donna?
Hell yes. You told us the situation with your brother, right? So they kind of feel like we're missing something. Like we're not getting the full story from you. Like they feel like
I'm pissed. Everything in me right now wants to run up on them and...
What's up, y'all? It's Brian Keith, and I'm back with another video. And today we're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of New Jersey, episode 7. And I mean, it was a good episode. It was a lot to unpack, and there was a lot of hypocrisy that went on that I saw. So I'm just like, But yeah, y'all like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
Yeah, let me check my shit real quick. Hotter than the fire coming out my flaming lips. You wanna play with me? You can't play in me. On the playground, bitch, you can't play with me. Got it, want it, securing the bag.
When I first started saying this is coming a little bit late, just because I didn't watch the episode last night on Tuesday. I watched the episode today, this morning, because I went out to the club here in DC. So I basically went to a club called Number 9. It was great, had a good time, just had a couple of drinks by myself. I'm just enjoying my own company because I want to go out, and all my friends live in North Carolina. And some of my friends, they actually went out of town, so I couldn't really go with them. So I went out and met some of my coworkers and stuff. But even though, like I said, I met my coworkers, I still went by myself. Okay, so we start off with basically Rachel meeting with, Danielle.
rock that at the shore. Oh hell no. This is really cute though. I like this hot pink one. But no, it was nice to be together. It's like not be arguing. Yeah.
And they're over here going dress shopping, like for like bikinis and stuff like that. It looks like in my sister's closet. I'm just like, okay, where are we going at? It's like a consignment shop. What is going? Like they're bonding. I like the fact that they come on the show and they're really like, they're bonding like sisters, and they're really coming to their own. Because I feel like this type of climate, you can feel like I need to make a moment, I need to shine, this person's my competition, this, that, and the third. Like how Kenya and Portia was, where you had two newbies coming in, basically trying to fight for the spot, not knowing that they both would get one.
And take your jackies.
But Danielle basically brings up that she hasn't been to the store since she was 25, and they throw back these old pictures of her, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ. She definitely looked like she ran with Snooki, JWoww, Pauly D, Dina. She looked like Dina's little sister. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. And then, Rachel brings up that, Danielle was talking to Joe Gorga for like 25 years on the softball game. So what are y'all talking about? So she basically was like, yeah, we was talking about my brother, how we basically are in a standstill right now. Like, we're not good. And she's like, okay, well, just don't give up on your brother. That's what they're saying. And she's like, well, I feel like my relationship with my brother has no hope. But I feel like Joe and Teresa's relationship that has hope. I don't know where you got that from, or who told you that there's some type of hope. I feel like this is what I feel. I feel like being that Joe did not go to Teresa's wedding, I feel like their relationship is done. I don't see it ever coming back, because for me, like my dad missed my graduation, right? And that was such a milestone for me obtaining my second degree, being in college for 6 years, getting not one but 2 degrees was such an accomplishment for myself. So for my dad to not come to neither of my graduations was a slap in the face. Rachel basically speaks about like if her brother did what Nicole's brother did to her. She was like, okay, it's just crazy. I have such a bond with my brother. I would call him, and if he didn't pick up, I'm calling his wife, and then she didn't pick up, I'm calling my mother, my father, my grandfather. She's like, I'm going down the line to figure this out. So she's just trying to figure out like what is missing. And like I said before in my last video, it does seem sketchy that you have this like broken relationship with your siblings. But to be honest, I know a lot of people that aren't cool with their sibling. They don't have a great relationship with their sibling. Like me and my sister, we are like solid as a rock. That's my ride or die, right? So that's like my best friend. So it's just weird that other people don't have a relationship with their siblings. But I mean, it is what it is, y'all. So Danielle and Rachel, they talk about the whole Margaret situation and how, you know, she brings up, you know, she has an arsenal of information about people.
A little crazy, but I don't think Margaret could ever let anything go. And you know, Margaret's ex-friend said Margaret is the one that drops the bomb on everybody.
And Rachel and Danielle have basically opposing opinions. Like Rachel's basically saying like, you know, okay, I can see what you're saying, but you know, we're hearing this from a third party. We're not hearing this from firsthand. She has been nothing but gracious and nice to us. So at the end of the day, you're just going off of hearsay. Now, Danielle's over here just like, at the end of the day, Teresa and Jennifer are saying this and, you know, it kind of chimes out. Like, why would her best friend come to them and tell her this information? But like, people got to realize, and that's why I'm a little bit on Rachel's side, because on Mad Day, people are going to spray you with everything they got. And that's just what it is. I had a falling out with one of my friends, and I'm just the type of person where it's just like, if we're going to, you know, step back from our friendship, I'm not airing nothing out. You're not airing nothing out. We're just going to keep it cordial. But, you know, that's just how we kept it. Everything was cordial because I still have love for this person. And it's just that, you know, right now we're just in a weird spot. But it is what it is. It feels like Teresa and Jennifer are going too hard on Margaret. I feel like at the end of the day, it's fair game. Margaret has been going crazy on Jennifer vice versa. So I mean, it's fair game at this point. It is what it is. It makes me feel like Danielle is scared that Margaret's gonna drop a bomb on her, and it makes me feel like, what are you hiding? Because she's very much like, she's dropping bombs. She got arsenal. She did this and the third. And I'm just like, girl, calm down. Like,
I don't think Margaret could ever let anything go. And you know, Margaret's ex-friend said Margaret is the one that drops the bomb on everybody.
I get it, but what do you not want us to know? And if there is something that you don't want us to know, girl, why don't you just spill your own tea? You on TV. Like, you might as well just spill it before they do. That's what I'll do. I'm like, look, I'd rather spill my own tea before anybody else throw my tea in my face. Because if you throw what I got in my face,
I'm a punch it in yours.
I'm just saying. Because one thing I tell people, I hate feeling like I'm being embarrassed in public. Public embarrassment is like one of my number one, like, I don't know how I would react. I really don't.
Actually, I do, because it happened before, but we're not going to go into that.
Teresa and Jennifer, they meet up at, you know, a jewelry shop, and they're looking at jewelry, and, you know, Louis paying. I'm just like, girl, yes, get a man that pays. I'm not mad at it.
Something old, my bro, like, Louis gave me this. Louis like the MVP, man. He was MVP.
Teresa says that, you know, it's weird that my brother didn't invite me to the Shore House to stay with them. Like, that's so weird.
It would have been nice for my brother and Melissa, like, to try to make things better, like, to ask Louis and I to stay at their house.
Girl, I'm about to get the fuck up out of here because
I'm just like, Teresa, like, at the end of the day, y'all act like, one, y'all not beefing, and two, you act like y'all stayed together before. Like, the year that y'all supposed to stay together, which was last year, girl, you got a hotel. So what are you talking about? At the end of the day, y'all are beefing. Why would he ask you? And that's one thing about Teresa that really irritates me, because you act like y'all are not beefing, that your brother got to go above and beyond. It's a two-person scenario. You have issues with what he got going on. He got issues with you. So you can't sit up here and make it seem like, oh, my brother shoulda. No, ma'am. Like, you need to start living in a land of facts instead of a land of shoulda, coulda, woulda. Jennifer feels like Margaret has a lot of information on Joe and Melissa. That's why she's basically doing all this situation, and that's why they're picking Margaret's side. To be honest, damn near every year that this show comes out, Melissa and Joe's tea get dropped on Twitter. Like, I just saw something I'm gonna put on the screen.
Gorga finding himself in a new fight this morning, being accused of faking a before and after photo for his real estate business on social media. Gorga frequently shares photos of
that, like, they got going on. I'm just over here just like, damn, y'all over here allegedly like faking house listings, faking the flipping process, over here money issues. Like, it's really none of my business, but that's just what's on Twitter. So we're at Paul's house again, and, you know, at this point I feel like they're trying to sell his house because it's a nice house. You know, I love the whole architecture of it. But Dolores is never home. And, you know, it's just really weird that Dolores, she engulfs herself in these relationships so fast and so quick after, like, I think at this point they've been probably together for like 6-7 months. So I'm just like, it's really, I don't know, for me it just feels fast. But that's just me. Like, at the end of the day, if she like it, I love it, right? I'm still gonna talk about it. So Dolores bring up how Frank feel away about, you know, the distance between their relationship, and she's just like, you know, at the end of the day, I don't care about it, and it is what it is. Like, it's not my concern. I'm like, okay, if it's not your concern, then why bring it up? Because you wanted to be a storyline. Got it. I don't know why I'm on Dolores' neck, but she just irritates me this season just because it is
My man, my man, my man, my man, my man.
that is it. It's so irritating. Jennifer and Bill, you know, they're packing to go to the shore, and basically Jennifer, she talks about the whole therapy conversation, how she feels that Bill has been neglecting her as a partner and not listening to her, not standing up for her, and this, that, and the third. Critical thinker, he is a doctor, so it's like there's a way that doctors talk. They talk with this high vocabulary, and obviously she doesn't have that. No shade, but it's just like she wants him to be something that he obviously wasn't. And I feel like it all started just because she's on this platform. She has this success. She has a voice now, where before she probably didn't have as much of a voice in the relationship before, but now she has a voice. She wants certain things, and I'm happy that he's not like pushing her away, but he's giving him his side. But I feel like in the relationship, she wants him to give so much, and she's not giving. She wants him to do so much, and she's not trying to do it either. So we see everybody, they make it to, you know, the shore houses and their Airbnbs. And it feels like, is it a requirement for the new housewives to have a shore house? I feel like in the casting, they're like, okay, so where are you from? They're like, you know, I'm from Bergen County, I'm from Pesquite, I'm from Staten Island, all that. And they're like, okay, so do you have a shore house? You don't? Yeah, so this interview's over. We see basically Joe and Melissa and Margaret. They're basically at Melissa and Joe's shore house, and like, everybody's sitting around, they eating, having a good time. They bring up Teresa's wedding and how, you know, Margaret's mother got invited, and you saw how Margaret slid it in.
No, so can I just tell you, my mother annoyed the shit out of me. At the baseball game, she goes over to Teresa. The wedding invitation, I saw Margaret. It's beautiful. When's the wedding? She goes, honey, you can come.
There, like, my mother annoys me.
But you know, she got invited to Teresa's wedding.
Like, girl, you think you're slick and you're not. Like, she is really good at what she does. I will give her that. Melissa was just like, that's just so crazy that, you know, she gets invited and my mother doesn't get invited. Like, what is that about? That's so weird. And just like, my mother, there's like 20 years history. And, you know, Joe brings up how, you know, Danielle, she probably leaving a lot of details out about her brother because they were talking on the baseball field, this, that, and the third. And Jackie is like, well, you know, at the end of the day, I feel like she is just very sketchy. It's just weird that she's over here, you know, as someone that has problem with their sister. I know what the situation is. There's something bigger.
You're from somebody who doesn't speak to their sister.
You hadn't seen her in 15 years.
No, I've seen her. We just don't speak to each other when we see each other. I think Danielle is leaving out a big piece of the story.
This, that, and the third. And my whole thing with Jackie is like, if you want to start digging on her brother in her situation, we can start digging on you. If that's really what they want to go with. That's what Jackie don't realize. And I feel like Jackie's really not comprehending. It's just like, okay, you don't want people to talk about your sister and your situation with your sister, but it's okay to dig on her situation. Y'all in the same boat. But yours seem a little bit extensive because you said that you walked in the room, your sister don't even talk to you. That's crazy. So it's like, if you, like, it's fine. Like, Jackie, if you want to dig on her, she can dig on you. And if I was Danielle, that was exactly what I would do. I'm like, okay, you want to play? Let's play. Hey, is this Jackie's sister? Yeah, let's talk.
Do we know her whole story about her sister? Do we? Do we even know a fucking quarter of it? Just about that now then. Maybe Danielle should ask her about her whole story with her sister.
So all the ladies, they meet at Melissa's and Joe's luau. Everybody looks really nice. But can I just say, like I said before, Dolores is bad. Oh, Dolores looks so good to me. I'm just like, Paul, I don't know how you got Dolores, but you better do everything in your power to keep her. Okay. So everyone makes their rounds, and Margaret asks Rachel like about the whole warning that Teresa made. You know, be careful of Margaret, blah blah blah. Rachel also brings up about Danielle saying that, you know, she has an arsenal of information, and Margaret feels so offended. I'm just like, girl, why are you offended about something that's a fact? But like, I just don't get, like, people just like, oh my God, you say you got the what? It's just so great. Like, girl, y'all irritate me because I'm just like, if somebody was just like, Brian, we told you to warn about you, I'm like, well, you better know. You better know. Like, it is what it is. Margaret feels that, you know, Danielle's a wannabe and says that she says that, you know, at the next, she don't want to know what I know about her. And that comment that she made, it kind of proves Jennifer, Teresa's, and Danielle's point that it's like, you got information on people and you just sit on it. Jackie said it last season, and people just want to act like this is just like something just made up. I feel there's 2 people in this group, maybe 3, but 2 people for a fact that's in this group that get information and spray people's tea. Jennifer and Margaret, period. And the third person potentially is Teresa. Teresa will go and they act like, I didn't do that. No, it wasn't me. Yes, ma'am, it was you. Teresa comes over and asks Margaret about, you know, Teresa comes over and she just basically talks to everybody, just like saying around her hellos, this, that, and the third. Margaret just pops it off and just like, okay, so you was telling Rachel about, you know, to warn her about me? Like, what's going on with that? What's up?
Person, you know, friend and an enemy. If we're made up, why would you say anything negative about me? Like, look at the history of her friendships.
So Teresa was like, I didn't say anything bad. And Rachel was just like, at the end of the day, you were saying that, you know, we had to look out for Margaret, just be on her good side, this and the third. So Teresa was like, okay, that's very high school of you because, like, at the end of the day, are you trying to start problems between me and Margaret? Like, what are you trying to do? And Rachel was like, no, I'm just telling you the truth. That's just what it is. And Rachel was saying in her confessional, like, look, at the end of the day, like, if you don't want me to repeat something, then at the end of the day, don't tell me, because if you ask me if you're fat, you're fat. Like, I'm just like, girl.
I mean, are you trying to cause a problem between me and Margaret? We were having a conversation, so I'm going to be transparent with her. That's like high school. I'm just telling her exactly what you said.
Rachel was just like, at the end of the day, you have a problem with me saying what I said, but you should never repeat it in the first place. And that's a fact. And that goes to the whole situation with Dolores at the end talking to Danielle. She's like, well, you should never repeat it. No, you should have never said it in the first place. Instead of talking about, I should never repeat it, you should never said it in the first place. Period. So Teresa says, like, at the end of the day, you're trying to twist my words, and Rachel's like, no, that's not what it is. Something happened where a big commotion where somebody was over here just like, yeah, the men acting belligerent. And Margaret feels like, you know, why are you over here forewarning people about me? Like, that's crazy. We're supposed to be friends.
If you with me, I'm really good too. But I wouldn't forewarn anybody to say Teresa could be vicious. That's a little twisted. It's undermining my character.
But at the end of the day, Margaret, you did the same thing to Jennifer. You told people to watch out for Jennifer. So what are we talking about? It's the hypocrisy that I was talking about in the beginning. You told people to watch out for Jennifer. So how you want to sit up here and tell Teresa not to forewarn people about you? Then Jackie did the same thing later on in the episode where she was forewarning people about Danielle. So what are we talking about? At the end of the day, she wasn't saying anything that was like bad, like, oh, you're like a horrible person. She just said, like, you know, if you get on her bad side, you know, just be careful because she's not going to hold back. I mean, that's a fair warning. A fair warning, okay? But at the end of the day, Margaret just asked straight up, like, are we good? Like, are we gonna move forward right now? Like, cause I'm tired of this. I don't have to fake anything. Let's just see what it is. And Teresa's like, no, we're good. Like, we have no issues.
In my life. No, it is genuine. If anybody pushed the wrong button on any of us, we would fight back. Don't you agree? Yeah.
They did it. It was cool. So you see Joe Gorga over here pouring liquor in people's mouths. He has the little the pourer on it, right? Being that I was a bartender in college, so you have to realize that every second is an ounce, right? When you pour 1, 2, 3, 4, that's a double. 1, 2, that is a shot. Okay, so every two seconds is a shot. That means 8 seconds, that's 4 shots times 2, because you had 2 bottles. That's 8 shots that they just did.
No.
Now, I'm not doing no 8 shots all at once because I'm not about to be in the hospital having something to probably pump my stomach. We're not doing that. Or have to get an emergency IV bag. You know, everybody do the little luau dances. They see the performance. It was cute. There was woman lip. Dolores and Frank had this weird interaction, and Frank is just like, yeah, you need to get Paul to come over here. He need to hang out with us.
Just lately.
But you need to push him to spend time with us.
I can't push him. It has to be organic.
And I'm just thinking, like, he don't have to do anything. That's a grown man that's making his own decision. If he don't want to hang out with y'all, he don't have have to. But my whole thing with Dolores, she always makes her decisions off of a man. And Dolores is over here just like, at the end of the day, I didn't stay at your shore house because I don't think Paul would have liked that. Girl, you only been dating him for almost 7 months. Like, why are you making a decision off of a man? You're a grown woman that can make your own decision, that been making your own decisions before. I just hate that. Like, that's something like one of my family members do that all the time, where they take the consideration of their husband above everything else, where it's just like, I've been in your life for almost 30 years. I'm like I said, almost 30 years, for 30 years. And he's been in your life for a second. So I'm just like, it is what it is. Dolores just walks away because she got annoyed, because she's just like, I'm not talking about it. At this point, Jen and Bill are wasted. They're having the time of their life, but I'm not mad at it. The ladies gather around with Louis, and Louis basically talks about, you know, the wedding's 4 weeks away, and Jen Fessler brings up, you know, Melissa's mom not invited. So what is that? Like, is it a oversight?
We were talking about before, like the whole thing with like Melissa's mom not being invited. There's no way, like, that's an oversight. No, it's not an oversight.
And Teresa's like, it's not an oversight. No. So we go to confessional, and basically Teresa spills the tea that, you know, Melissa's mother and sisters has been like talking about her online, like really going ham on her, which, I mean, I'm not like, I don't blame them, because Teresa has been an adversary to Melissa this whole time. So I don't blame them. But knowing that information, I wouldn't have invited them either.
Melissa's mother and sisters were writing stuff about me on social media. Never write about anybody on social media. So I always just kept my distance after that. I
would have stuck to my guns and like, no. So when Louis was like, well, you know, I did talk to her and apologize to her. I'm just thinking like, apologize. So all the other girls like, oh my God, that's so nice. Yes.
Apologize to her.
Oh, how nice is that?
I'm in the middle and I'm being biased.
Not on my watch.
And he's like, yeah, you know, I want to invite her to the wedding, but, you know, at the end of the day, I don't have that 20-year history. You know, I'm just trying to, you know my place, and then third. When I tell you, if I was Teresa, I would have pulled Louis to the side. I would come up with any type of excuse to bring us to the side, and I probably would have cussed his ass out, because at some point, you're not about to undermine my feelings on the situation. Yes, it might be petty for me not inviting that woman, but if I don't want to invite her to my wedding, I'm standing 10 toes in it, and I'm not going to invite her. So I would have been pissed off that he would have went behind my back or undermined my actions. If at the end of the day, it's like, you know, there's hurt, you know, there's pain, you know, there's all this other stuff, and you know what they've done to Teresa, 'cause I know she told you. So it's just like, at the end of the day, for you to go outside to try to be the peacemaker,
stop being too nice.
Because at the end of the day, you want to be nice peacemaker, this, that, and the third. They still going to talk about you, Louis. They still going to talk about you. Before, I'm 100% on Teresa's side. If she don't want them at the wedding, especially we seen the flashback how they was over here instrumental in the whole Joe, Gorga, Melissa beef, christening, all that. Yeah, I wouldn't have been cool with them. Like, they would not be at my wedding. And then for them, why would y'all even want to go? Like, y'all, to this day, still talking about Teresa. Why would y'all want to go? Why? It's just fake to me. Like, there's a couple family members that I have in my family that, you know, I'm cordial with, but would they be at my wedding? No, I'm not cool with y'all. We're cordial. I could say, hey, how you doing? Yeah, you know, it's great. Okay, bye. Like, that's it. But it's like, I'm not cool with y'all like that, so you would not be at my wedding. And out of my siblings, I'm the more headstrong, and I'm the one that stands 10 toes in what I do. I love my sister. My sister is my best friend, like I said. And she is very, you know, my sister is so nice. She has like a beautiful heart. She's so giving. She's forgiving. And I'm the type of person where it's like, if you cross me, like with Teresa,
I'm gonna get my lip back.
And is it right? It's probably not right, but I'm gonna get my lip back. That's just how I feel. And Teresa, she got her lip back. You're not invited to the wedding. Like I said, Louis told everybody that he apologized. So we see the whole initiation of, you know, Rachel's husband, where they wax his chest, and it just looks nasty. How the hair was glued to his hand. I said, it looks nasty. First of all, this chest right here, you see this chest right here, is waxed all down. That's just how, you know, that's just how they like. So Jackie goes and she wants Margaret and Jennifer to basically reconcile, and Jennifer's like, no, you know, she started so much stuff about my family and my children. They have trauma because of her. And like I said in the last video, Jennifer, you cannot keep blaming Margaret for something that Bill did. Yes, Margaret sprayed the tea, but here's the thing. My dad had an affair on my mom, right? And I found out the full story at 16. The affair happened when I was 6. I did find out from my parents, but I would have been more angry at my family if I would have found out from someone else or a third party. So I wouldn't have, like, as someone that was getting older, you know, as a kid, cool, I wasn't supposed to know, cool, whatever. But waiting 10 years to tell someone, I was already upset about that. And then putting the icing on the cake that I would have found out from someone else, then my parents, I would have been pissed off at them for not having the balls to tell me the situation. I would have been mad at, like, who is she? She ain't nobody to me. I would have been mad at them. So at the end of the day, like, they have to take ownership because that was their situation. So yeah, Margaret was the one who, you know, kind of brought it up, but still, I agree with the domino effect. But at the end of the day, you still have to take ownership that it's like she's trying to excuse or, you know, place ownership on Margaret instead of place ownership ultimately on Bill for actually doing it. Jackie goes to Margaret, Jen Fessler, and Teresa, and they talking about Danielle, how they basically talk about, you know, she has a bad side.
I think she has a piece of her that's not that nice. Listen, she said I have an arsenal and I'm judgmental. That pisses me off. I hate hearing my name in conversations that I'm not involved.
Stuff is going on, and don't get me wrong, like, it does seem sketchy about what she's talking about, especially when she went on Watch What Happens Live. It just seems like something's left out. She acts like she doesn't know why, this and the third. But the thing about it is, maybe she doesn't know. And everybody's causing this whole hoopla about something that maybe she don't even know about. So Danielle's like, I'm hearing my name. I hate having conversation, hearing my name. And she said about 5 times, and then she talked to Dolores about the situation. And I wish she would have just went over there and talked to them. But I'm happy she didn't, because at the end of the day, like she said, I'm getting pissed off and I'm gonna say something I'm gonna regret. And I'm happy that she has a self-awareness to know to take herself out of the situation, sit her ass down, talk to her husband, calm down, and leave. While she was sitting down with her husband, he was like, what's going on? She was like, I'm hearing my name. I don't know what they talking about.
Dad.
What are they saying?
They're just talking.
I know. Okay.
And I feel like that was another reason. She didn't fully know what they were talking about to interject. And you don't want to look crazy if you ain't got all the tea. Like with me, if somebody's talking about me, I'm a Virgo. I'm gonna figure out what you're saying. I'm gonna figure out how to react to it, and I'm gonna figure out how to blast you back. That's just how I am, and I'm gonna get the full information before I speak. I will sit on that information until I get all the information I need. Then I'm gonna say what I gotta say, period. But with Danielle, I'm happy that she, you know, pulls herself to the side and to try to calm down. Melissa's talking to her, and she's just like, well, you know, the conversation I heard was that they talked about your whole brother situation and, you know, this, that, and the third.
You told us the situation with your brother, right? So they kind of feel like we're missing something. Like we're not getting the full story from you. Like they feel like maybe. And
Danielle's just like, girl, I don't hear nothing you say. I'm pissed. She get up, she leaves. She basically talked to Teresa and Jennifer. She's like, look, girl, I don't care what's going on. We gotta bounce. I'm out because I'm about to get pissed.
What happened? Can we just go? I'm done. Okay, yeah, let's go. Let's go. Yeah, grab our guys and go. Yeah, we all came together, so we'll leave together.
So that was the end of the episode. She didn't confront the girls, but she got in the Sprinter van and she was pissed off. She was just like, you know, they're talking about me and it's just crazy. I confided my life to these women, but they're going to take that and spin it to question my character.
I opened up to these women about something that affects my soul, and now people are questioning my character.
Question like if I was lying or not, and it's just wrong that you want to take that information and spin it. And I totally agree. But y'all, let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with Danielle? Do you wish that she would have confronted them? Because I kind of wish I wanted her to confront them. What do you guys think? Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.